Hi guys, it's great to see you again. I'm Miss Joli and I'll be your visual artist for this lesson. Today we're going to talk about the social studies topic of Egyptian hieroglyphs and hieroglyphics. We're going to create an artwork that's going to portray the Egyptian hieroglyphs. Actually, we're going to do a Egyptian cartouche. The materials we're going to need for today are a piece of paper, pencil, eraser, and box of crayons. Ancient Egyptian writings are called hieroglyphs or hieroglyphics on papyrus sometimes. We'll have them. Papyrus is like a paper that they made. The hieroglyphics is a system of writing in ancient Egypt using the hieroglyphs. It's almost like a picture story, but not quite. The hieroglyphs are pictures that represent sounds, letters, or words. Hieroglyphs are carved, or they can be carved in stone, which is another way that people would pass information on to others. The hieroglyphs are drawn symbols to represent words, and the people who knew how to do those were the kings, the scribes, the priests, and the craftsmen. They represent the spoken word. It's almost like letters in the alphabet put together to spell words we say. They send messages. They can send messages over long distances. Now, they wouldn't send a great big stone over a long distance, so that's when they would send the papyrus, which is like a paper. They actually tried to do everything accurately, so they wanted to do things correctly without mistakes. So that's a lot of times they would go ahead and have stories and their laws, their songs, their poems, their prayers. They would write them, the important things down to remember. So they had symbols to write these things down. That's what the hieroglyphs were, or the hieroglyphics. Ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs were carved in stone. They were drawn or painted on wood or papyrus, which is their paper. The papyrus is a plant the Egyptians made paper from by cutting the inside of the stalk into thin strips. So they made it by wetting the strips and then pressing them together and leaving them to dry. So they left that papyrus to dry, and it had a really smooth surface. Let me go ahead and tell you how they did that actually. Let me show you some plants that they use for that. These are the plants. The flower part looks like rays of the sun, and the stem part, if you cut the stem and you look at the very bottom of the cutting, it's shaped like a pyramid. So they thought very highly of that papyrus plant. And if you look at pictures of the people from the Nile, they didn't have very much. It was all a hot, dry area. So they used every bit of that plant. The papyrus plant could be used, the flower part could be used for perfumes, the outer stalk parts for baskets and sandals and robes. The white inner part wasn't good for much unless it was cut into strips and placed down on paper and pressed. So they would roll, or they would press heavy rocks right on top of it. The center is made up of just sugar and water. It's like sugar cane. So unless you rolled it out, it wasn't very strong, wasn't good for anything other than that. So you had to roll it to squeeze all the juices and all the waters out of it. Okay. If you soak it 3 to 6 days in plain water, if you soak for 3 days, you'd always get a light colored paper, and if you soaked for like 6 days, you get a darker brown color. The strips had to be placed down in a vertical and horizontal direction with no holes. They would use animal skins. Today they use carpets, but they used animal skins to kind of collect a lot of the water between, like after they rolled it out. So imagine your mom rolling some baking dough out, and she tried to get it really, really, really thin. Then after she had it really, really, really thin, she took that and placed it, say, on a carpet. But in those days it was on an animal skin, and they put another one on top, one underneath and one on top, and then they put a really heavy rock on top and let it sit for 3 to 6 days under that heavy rock. And then like I said, for the lighter color it was only 3 days, and for the darker color they would do it for 6 days. And then after that they'd take that paper and they'd lay it out to dry in front of the sun. All right, for this project, we're going to use our paper. Remember, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your pencil and your paper. Oops, I wrote on this side. And go ahead and write your name. And then flip it over. And since you can't quite see my pencil, I'm going to go ahead and use the marker. You go ahead and use your pencil at any time. If you need to erase, go ahead and erase. If you want to put something in one spot and you want to change the direction, or you want to put it in another spot, go ahead. I'll let you choose what kind of ideas you want, but here is what we're looking at, and I'm going to try to have it for you so that you can look at it the whole time. We have an alphabet, our A, B, C, D, E, F, G, our little alphabet here, and we have a symbol on the side. So you'll notice you have alphabet, and we have a symbol above it on this one. And I collect all kinds of symbols and pages. So again, if you find, see, my name starts with a J, so when I would start, I'd start with, ooh, it's the Cobra. So that's the Cobra I'd be starting with. And then my next letter would be O. So, oh, it's this, it looked like a loop of rope, actually. That's what it kind of looks like. It actually says it's a lasso. See, it is a rope. And well, this one you can't quite see very well. So this is probably one of the better ones, or should I say, you might be able to see that one better. I'll put them so you can see them. There we go. That's good. I'll put that one there. All right, so we're going to take our pencil, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put a curve around the outside edges. This is what our cartouche or cartouche, depends on where you're from and what you're saying. This is what they look like. And the people of royalty would have their name in there. So all of these symbols would be saying something. And on the hieroglyphs and the hieroglyphics, on the walls and on the either could be wood or the cement, they would have it carved out. But here they could have it on a nameplate. So that's what we're going to kind of do, is like a little nameplate for us. So I'm going to just push this to the side. First thing I'm going to do is go ahead and let's go ahead and think about the great big oval that's in there. And kind of follow the edge and of your paper. And then when you get to the corners, go ahead and think of a curved line. So let's do a curved line. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do our curve by the corners. Curve by the corners, and this is our straight line. And when you get to the corner, you're going to do a curve by the corner. Curve by the corner. And let me come from this side here. Here's my curve by the corner. And I'm going to do a straight line. I would usually turn my page every direction, but since y'all are, I'd hate for you to watch me do it upside down. And this is my double. Now when it comes time to be decorating this one, if you want to put a shape inside it, your favorite shapes like circles, squares, triangles, rectangles, lines, you can put what you'd like inside it. This is a curve. And let's see, I'm going to go ahead and put some lines, just some vertical lines. And let's see, my little end comes here. My little end comes here. And here's a curve. Little curves. It's actually a scallop line. So a curved line and a curved line. You could use it to draw water or even a bumpy road, but that's called a scallop line. All right, and yep, I said my name is Joli, and it starts with a J, so yep, see the snake? There's a little snake there. Here's a little snake there. Here's it's a cobra snake actually. They do have another snake and the F has another kind of viper, but this is a cobra. And my name has O next, so you pick whichever ones your name has in it. This almost looks like a clover of some sort, but it's a lasso, like the cowboys and Indians would play with. Well, not the Indians, but the cowboys. Whoops. Okay, J-O-L. L is lion. That I'm going to do. You find which one yours is, and you can kind of change it if you want to go across, you can. Now I have two L's in my name. I have one in my first name and one in my last name. I'm going to do two different lions. I'm going to make their tail a little different. One tail I'm going to put on the outside and one I'm going to put on the back. I like to kind of change it up sometime. This almost looks like the Sphinx. And it comes around for the back foot. And the eye is, it's like two shakes. Oh, this one says a flowering reed. I do have one of the others that I used. Oh, my eye, I got it from this one. There we go. It had two, it's like you shake something twice. It's like the second go round, the second time. So I'm going to just do that. I'm going to use a reed. I have a reed one for my my last name. You're figuring out how to do your name in these. See, mine is J-O-L-I. What is yours? And my last name is N-O-E-L. So N was a water mark. O again was the lasso. And E is the flowering reed. See, they have, this one they have two of them. That's why I'm going to go ahead and just use the little shake on this one. You can always change it up a bit if you want. You can use a symbol that you like. something that represents you if you'd like to change something. We're just having fun trying to figure out if we were ancient Egyptians, what kind of writing, what kind of pictures we would do. Almost like a pictograph or almost like an emoji, but it's not quite. These all had symbols and meanings. The others don't necessarily have the same. That's my watermark. Let's see. I started off with a little flower type look for my lasso. Kind of in a block style. And here we go. See, that's what I did here. You see how I was working on this one here. Here's my my E, and that is a reed. I'm going to go ahead and put some little lines coming down it. A little different than the one I did earlier. And this will curve off and come back around. And there we go. And let's see, my last name, Noel. If you have a long first name, you don't have to do your last name. Mine is just 4 letters and 4 letters, so I decided to go ahead with my last name. And this one here I did differently. I'm going to do it through the back of the tail. The tail is on the back side of this kitty cat. I call all my big cats a kitty cat, and we know it's a lion. How many of you like lions? This is almost like the Great Sphinx. Let's see, make my ear. Just a little line to make it look like his eye, and he's sleeping. My sleeping lion. There you go. So this one, my tail is swishing in the back. This one's my tail is swishing in the front. So now I'll get to color it up. I think I might, see on this one here, I put little curves. I might decide to go ahead and do something different on that one. I think I'm going to do just lines. I'm going to do like an equal sign and a number 11. That's what I'm going to do. Equal sign and number 11. If you want to do circles or squares, you can do that too as well. I'm going to just keep going with that. I really like to play with lines, create patterns with lines. The thing is, once you start, you have to continue that pattern. Remember, a pattern, it always repeats. And let's see, I'm going to do this one different. It's going to be opposite. Now we're going to get to color it up. And you can color it up any way you want. But we're going to have it drawn on there. Listen to the pattern. I can hear a pattern in my drawing. There we go. I'm going to just leave that one like that. And when I color it up, I can do anything I want on my coloring. So your job will be to color the whole thing up. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and start this up a little bit. You have your crayons. I like to mix up the colors. So let's see, I'll put darker here. Well, I actually used gray in my other one, so I'll put the gray really close to the edge. Sometimes it crossed the brown. And then I add brown. I did add brown there. And I used yellow. And then actually I took a peach and I mixed them all up. Took my peachy color and I went ahead and I colored the whole thing. And I would do something similar all around. Maybe I put a different color inside. If you wanted, you could turn them all into squares and color it maybe red and blue and red and blue and red and blue. Ooh, I see. I forgot to put my eye on one of my lions. How is yours coming out? Is it coming out? I know we have to go quite quick because it's only for 30 minutes. And I know you have fun doing all kinds of things and you can add all kinds of things in there. Maybe each one could be a symbol of each of the letters for you. I just was having fun doing just like the ancient Egyptians would do for the hieroglyphs. And let's see for my cobra, let's see my belly of my cobra, I'm going to go ahead and put the lighter color. Cobra is one of the most deadliest snakes out there in Africa. And then I like to put my brown on the top. I could use a gray. I could change different colors if I like. For both of my O's, which ended up being the lasso, I went ahead and I colored two different colors. I colored red and purple. And I just like to use different colors, almost like the rainbow of colors that are going on there. So let's see. Here's my red. Let me go ahead, I'm going to color the outside area peach, so let me get the inside of this in case I forget. And then I'm going to color around it. The very inside here will be the red of this one. Color all around those edges. So when I use my red, I'll be able to try to keep everything only inside. Here's my red. I know I'm probably going quite quickly compared to yours. You're going to have time during possibly a recess if it's raining outside or too cold to go outside. It is that time of year here. So here's my red and my purple for the other one. Oh, let me color the outside area. Let me color the back. It doesn't matter. I use the whole crayon. I use the whole crayon. This is our cartouche. Of course, if you're from different areas of the country, you may say it differently. Kind of meditating here. And here's my purple. There we go. My green for my reed, my flower. Could almost be like a papyrus, but remember the papyrus plant? The leaves kind of come out like rays of sunshine. And I'm going to lightly color it here. I could add a little yellow with it. Yellow and green in mine. You can pick whatever colors you like. Now for this one, I usually go all the same direction and come back the other direction. Trying not to turn my paper so that you can keep seeing it straight. But of course, if you don't have the same letter in the alphabet as I do, it'll be a little different. A little orange for my eyes. For my eye, this is actually like 2 hits. Two strokes is what they call it. They call it 2 strokes. And then my line is going to go yellow. Except for, oops, that side I always put brown. I'm going to put the brown on top. It almost looks like a lamb. Do the little tip of the tail. And then I have one more lion left. And I'll be about done. That's my lion. And I'm going to put brown on top of him. Take a moment and view your artwork. Notice your neighbor's artwork. What are the similarities and the differences between your artworks? Notice them. Thanks for joining me today. We learned so many things. We talked about the Egyptian hieroglyphs, and we got to create an artwork portraying the Egyptian hieroglyphics.
We even got to do a cartouche. As you go through the rest of your week, notice what kinds of symbols you see all around you. Notice your toys on the TV, in books and magazines, at different places. Enjoy the rest of your day. I can't wait to see you again.